As the puck came into the center and the players slammed into each other, the Sabres goalkeeper collapsed to the ground, clutching at his throat. In the clash, one of the skater's blades had cut Clint's throat, severing his jugular vein. The players and staff started frantically calling out for help, and that's when the Sabres' athletic trainer rushed in and got to work. However, Jim Pizzatelli wasn't just an athletic trainer. He was also a Vietnam combat medic, so he certainly wasn't a stranger to blood. He calmly reached into the wound, pinched Clint's severed jugular to stop the bleeding, and rushed him off to the hospital. Clint received 300 stitches to close the wound, and within a week, he was back out on the ice once again. It truly was remarkable, and everyone thought that Clint's life had been saved. But as an X-ray would show years later, this was just the start of Clint's problems. See, deep down, after seemingly recovering from the injury, Clint knew that something else was wrong, but he pushed it to the back of his mind. He feared that if he didn't return to the ice and prove to his team that the near-death experience hadn't weakened him, his contract wouldn't get renewed and his career would be over. So he put on a tough guy persona and he pretended everything was okay. Clint played a few more seasons before he retired, and then he shifted his focus to coaching. On the surface, it looked like life was going great for Clint. He coached a couple of teams in the minor leagues before showing back up in the NHL again as a goaltending coach for multiple major league teams. 20 years passed since his injury, and so at this point, it seemed like it was well and truly in the past. That was until February 2008. Clint was sitting at home watching the live broadcast of a game between his old team, the Buffalo Sabres, and a team he used to coach, the Florida Panthers, when there was a clash on the ice which felt all too familiar to Clint.
Oh boy, Zednik, oh my goodness!
Oh my God, he's bleeding bad.
Richard Zednik is cut wide open.
As Clint watched in stunned silence, they replayed the moment it happened on the TV.
It's his neck. They've got a towel on his neck. Dave Zanobi, the trainer, and they're getting him right into the dressing room. This is very serious.
Buffalo has seen something terrible in past years. Fortunately, Clint Malarchuk is alive and well.
Richard Zednik was treated at the hospital and he was okay, but Clint wasn't. The unresolved trauma of his own injury 2 decades ago resurfaced, and this time Clint couldn't just push through it. He started losing control of his thoughts. He self-medicated with alcohol, and when that wasn't enough, he took his rifle, pointed it under his own chin, and he pulled the trigger. However, miraculously, Clint survived. The bullet had gone through his chin, splitting his tongue, smashing a tooth through the roof of his mouth, and had lodged itself in his sinus pathway, stopping it from damaging his eyes or his brain. After this moment, Clint started finally seeking out the help he desperately needed. He got better, and since that day, he's inspired others all over the world to reach out for help and not suffer in silence like he did.